back to the news at 10. Over 300 passengers have departed aboard a Wakanow.com chartered non-stop flight to watch the Super Eagles play in Brazil. The second of such flights in the online travel company, the official tour partner to the Nigerian Football Federation, is designed to eliminate transits and reduce travel time. Our aviation correspondent, Bukola Jo Oketumbi, reports.
The Football World Cup fever is in the air, no doubt. This singular reason is why these passengers are going through their pre-boarding formalities at Wakanow.com check-in area. The online travel agency is sure making this trip less stressful.
This flight is a 7.5-hour flight. It's in a Boeing A340 we chartered. We're flying direct to Brazil, and it's more convenient in only 7.5 hours. When most people that travel to Brazil for the World Cup will have to go to South Africa, which is it's a 6-hour flight, then have a layover for about 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, and then fly another 10-hour flight, or you go to Europe or the Middle East, and that will take another 14 hours from the Middle East after a 7-hour flight.
While this is the second in the row of 3 flights dedicated specially to the World Cup, the over 300 passengers are not just only traveling as individuals, but also in groups. Those attired in the red and black shirts, and these 8 great champions from Katsina State.
It's really fantastic, and that's why we opted for Wakanow, because traveling for at least 11 hours from where there will be stopovers, but this one is a chartered one direct to Sao Paulo. It's really impressive, and I'm grateful.
The brand ambassador is particularly optimistic about Nigeria's game.
I know that it's looking tough right now, but we need the match tonight to know our fates in Brazil, and that's why we're going there to support them all the way. And God's willing, I believe something will happen. I believe in miracles.
Pre-boarding checks over, it's straight to the departure area. As the passengers on board the Wakanow flight present themselves for immigration formalities, it is expected that the flight will take off at 9 a.m. local time in Nigeria and touch down 7.5 hours later in Sao Paulo, Brazil. From the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, Bukola Jo Oketumbi, Channels Television News.
Unveiling the new look of Guinness. Discover a colorful world of more.
All attention is now at the Arena Pantanal Stadium in Cuiabá, venue of the Bosnia-Herzegovina and Nigeria game. Our fans of both teams are equally confident ahead of the clash. The Super Eagles are hungry for a win, coming from a goalless draw against Iran. Bosnia is coming off a 2-1 loss to the Group F leaders, Argentina.
There's a high expectation in Nigeria. We may not win the World Cup. We may not probably go to semi-final, but we will show to the world that we are making progress as far as football is concerned. So that expectation in Nigeria, of course, is going to change the cycle of Nigerians. So I believe that our performance in the World Cup and doing very well, of course, will bring more blessings to the people of Nigeria.
If you guys know, but we also have some floods, so we only have some recent tragedies as well. It's like 100 million people displaced, and this would just give them a little bit of joy in a very harsh environment. It's already pretty harsh in Bosnia, and the living standards are pretty hard. And the war and now the floods, like a lot of people could use a little cheer, and we need this win.
Well, the game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and, of course, their counterparts of Bosnia-Herzegovina is about to start. Well, Argentina are through to the knockout stages of the ongoing FIFA World Cup thanks to a stunning injury time goal from their team skipper, Lionel Messi. Now, the Iranians spent much of the match with all 11 players behind the ball, although they did offer a threat at set pieces. Iran could have even have won it but for a brilliant Sergio Romero save from Ashkan Dejaga's header. Now, the Black Stars of Ghana's hopes of advancing to the knockout stages of the FIFA World Cup is very dicey after a 2-2 draw in the second round of games in Group G. Germany's Miroslav Klose became the joint record scorer at the World Cup after his 15th finals goal rescued the Germans with a point in that highly entertaining clash. Well, the Ghanaians went ahead when a great interception and pass by Suleiman Tari set up Asamoah Gyan to lash home in the 63rd. But Germany leveled in the 71st minute with a sharp finish by Klose, and of course he is now all-time leading scorer, joint with the Brazilian Ronaldo. That's on the sports news. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
Unveiling the new look of Guinness. Discover a colorful world of more.
On the foreign scene, there's heightened sectarian tension in Iraq after thousands of militia loyal to Muqtada al-Sadr paraded through the streets of the capital, Baghdad. They are following orders from the cleric who's met the army, fought the U.S. in Iraq for years. Sunni extremists have seized control of large swaths of territory across Iraq. The militants, led by jihadist group ISIS, are battling pro-government forces for the Baiji oil refinery and the Tal Afar airport in northern Iraq. Russian President Vladimir Putin has expressed support for the Ukrainian government's proposed peace plan. Mr. Putin says he supports the peace plan tabled by Ukraine as long as it includes practical action to start talks. He said Kyiv must negotiate and make compromises with pro-Russian rebels for the plan to be viable and realistic. Mr. Putin also said a week-long truce declared by President Petro Poroshenko must not be used as an ultimatum. Clashes have continued in eastern Ukraine with rebel attacks overnight injuring 6 border guards. And the main news again. There was a large turnout of voters in the Ekiti state governorship election, which held today across the 16 local government areas of the state, with 18 political parties participating. The APC has raised an alarm over alleged arrest of its leaders in Ekiti state as PDP accused the main opposition party of violating electoral law in the Ekiti state governorship election. And tension has increased in Iraq, as thousands of Shia militia today paraded in the country's capital, Baghdad, amidst fighting in the north. And that's it on the news at 10. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you so much for staying with us. From all of us here, good night.